OFM for Dummies. There are two ways that you can scale an OFM company, okay? You can either vertically scale. Well, vertically scale means you keep a very finite amount of clients, but you inject marketing acquisition and scale their revenue as high as you possibly can. This is your one and only creator, and all of your money is going to come from that creator. There's some pros and there's some cons to this. Now, the alternative is a horizontal scale, where you have multiple creators. All creators are generating their own traffic, and you take a smaller percentage of these numbers that they're already generating. So you're gonna have multiple pages doing a ton of random different amounts of income, opposed to one page that has a very specific set of money that you're generating it based off of logical decisions and marketing acquisitions, okay? Now, there are some pros and cons to both of these, okay? So the pros to a vertical scale agency would be, one, there's less team management. And what I mean by this is, if you look at what you need for a vertical scaled operation, you need a model, you need a marketing acquisition, and you need a couple chatters. Realistically, you can handle all the communications. You can do all of that yourself. Okay. Now, you also have more flexibility on marketing, because any marketing channel that you can do on a horizontal level will also work on a vertical level to a degree. Okay. Now, you also have significantly higher profit margins because you're typically going to be working with salary creators. If you don't know what a salary creator is, a salary creator is somebody that you work with who has an OF account that you pay them a fixed salary every month, regardless of how well the page does. So for an example, if this page up here is doing $100,000 a month, I could theoretically be paying this creator $2,500 every single month, depending on where she lives, upwards to $10,000 a month. I keep 90% of the profit. Now, there are some cons, okay? Higher risk, because all of your money and all of your income is entirely relying on the satisfaction of this creator. God forbid this creator finds a boyfriend and the boyfriend doesn't like that she's on OnlyFans and takes her off. You just lost all of your income. God forbid something happened to this person and you lose all of your income, okay? Now, the next one is marketing is entirely on you. This creator is being paid $2,000, say $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 a month. They have absolutely no incentive to work their ass off, because it doesn't matter how much the page makes, they're not going to make any more money. So the marketing channels are entirely reliant on your ability to perform, which this could be a pro, this could be a con. Now, salary girls do not tend to do much work because they don't get paid enough to do so. The ceiling is much lower. And what this means is any marketing acquisition that you put in a vertical scale is typically going to have its own internal bottlenecks, issues, or it could just break here and there. This limits your ability to scale past a certain level. Now, in OFM, what I have found is $100,000 a month is about that limit that is achievable. Past the $100,000 a month mark, it starts to get a little bit more difficult and requires more than just 2x the resources, because you start to hit that ceiling, okay? Now, if lead acquisition channel goes down, so does all of your income. This kind of ties into your marketing risk, okay? Now, on a horizontal scale, there are some pros. One, you have a network for other ventures. Let's say you position your agency to scale into some kind of digital business that you now have access to a ton of clients. So one thing that you could consider is, let's say you move all of your clients into a personal brand business. What this means is, let's say you want to get out of OnlyFans, for an example. You have all of these clients that you can transition into your new company, okay? Where now it's a simple pitch. Hey, OnlyFans is starting to taper down. I was wondering if you wanted to start scaling your personal brand and then monetizing an actual company opposed to just an OnlyFans account. Gives you the ability to do so. Or let's say you create a crypto and you have all of your creators go into it. You have a pump and dump operation that you can have some extra money and some leverage to help get it on the charts, something along those lines. Now, all of your eggs are in one basket. God forbid actor number 10 here leaves. That's fine, okay? Because you have all of these guys that are supporting your income, opposed to this person leaves, you just lost all of your income. Management itself is easier okay? Because the things that you do are not going to be the same things that you do for this creator, for the vertical creator. You literally have to do every single thing because they're not your business partner. They are your tool for scaling your own income, okay? So everything that you do is 100% reliant on you. On the other hand, these creators are already making money, which means they already have brands and they already have fans coming in and they already have traction, engagement, and sales. You do not have to do very much, such as the marketing is incredibly limited because you do not need to provide marketing acquisitions to these creators the same way that you need to provide marketing acquisitions to this creator. This creator, if it does not have, let's say you provide SOPs to these creators, okay? If you provide an SOP to this creator's not going to do anything because they're not getting paid enough to do so. But over here, you can simply just provide SOPs and then these creators will do all the work themselves, okay? Now, your LTV is significantly higher on a per client basis outside of the actual revenue per page, okay? Each one of these creators, I can charge an on-top fee of, let's say, an extra $2,500 a month for DMCA takedowns, increasing the LTV. Up here, all of my income is specifically tied into this. This creator is going to have no more money that they can give me. Now, on this scale, it doesn't seem like that's really a big deal. But let's go ahead and dump another batch of creators because once again, you're scaling this. And we start charging 16 creators times another 2,500. You're already looking at another $40,000 on top of whatever this income rate is. Let's say it's 25,000 on average per client. Let's be conservative, say 15,000 times 16, 240, 30% of that is $72,000 plus the $40,000 that you're getting in recurring. You're already making more money than you would be up there, okay? Yes, there's some other expenses that go into that that'll bring that number down, but you get the idea. At 50 models, that no longer becomes a question, okay? Scale is very easy because you have word of mouth, okay? And you have lead getters. Lead getters are essentially when you turn a model into somebody who actually is an affiliate for your company by incentivizing them to invite their friends to your agency and to come and work with you, okay? Now, your primary focus is just simply on optimization, taking what they already have built and optimizing it and making it more efficient. So their Instagram posting, their Reddit posting, their TikTok posting, whatever they're doing for their traffic, you just simply help them optimize that and make sure that it is doing as good as it should. Now, this also has exit value. You can exit a company with all of these clients that is not tied to your face, but nobody will buy this. Okay. Now, there are cons. Getting clients does take work. It requires much more of your time for upkeep. Managing this many creators does take a lot of time. Client communications, things that you have to do, small little duty tasks that you have to do. Now, your team size is going to be significantly larger. Let's say you have 2 chatters for this person here, but you need 16 clients times 2, you have 32. Typically you need 3. So let's go ahead and do 16 times 3. You need about 48 people that you need to manage. Of those 48 people, you're going to need pods of 10 with management. So at least 4 more staff just managing the oversight, so on. Okay. And your profit margins are significantly lower. All right. Now, this is a general understanding between vertical and horizontal scale and the different routes that you can take. Vertical scale acquisitions include meta ads. It includes follow and follow, IAMS, DMS, comments, threads, and Instagram reels. Kind of rip if you want to go that route. Horizontal scale acquisitions are no longer actually bringing in the traffic yourself, but providing the SOPs on reels, TikTok, Reddit, Twitter, OFTV, swaps, threads. All right. Now, you can get models. Both of them are the same way. You can get models by using model marketplaces, but you're not going to get any models that are currently generating any good amount of revenue. From friends that you know, word of mouth, paid advertisement, cold outreach, Instagram shoutouts, lead getters, or outreach on creator accounts. Now, if I were to start today from zero, but I kept all my knowledge, I would, using Lovable, create a website with the book a call feature and make it look established and professional. I would join tons of OFM channels and take note of all of the chatting agencies with solid results. I would reach out to micro-influencers between male between 10,000 and 200,000 followers. I would send them all a Loom breakdown of my proposal. They bring me creators to do OF, and I pay them a flat rate per creator or a percentage split for all creators that they bring me. My Loom would break down me going into depth on who we are and what we do and how we can benefit them with no extra work. Now, once I got my first model, I would provide an excellent service by optimizing the page to the best of my capabilities. I would send SOPs on all marketing acquisitions that she's not already doing and the ones that she is doing that could be done better. I would bounce the creator between chat teams with 48-hour rotations until I find the best one for her. After the exponential results, I would ask her to refer me to any friends that she has and offer her the same proposal as the initial lead getter. I now have 2 full-time lead getters, the model and the original outreach guy. I would rinse and repeat this until the workload got so much for me to handle, in which I would then hire a second person who would focus primarily on model communication and daily duties. I would then begin a paid ads funnel for more lead generation with a heavy filtration system. I would then put in place a cold outreach team using the models that I have pages, and with the models that I have their pages, and then I'd be reaching out to all their friends. I would then start adding costs of new services to the monthly invoices, such as DMCA takedowns, to start increasing the LTV of my creators. This is exactly how I would begin. All right. It was very, 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 very simple. And I would pass the model over to a chatting agency who handles the content creation, who handles the chatting, who handles the wall post, who handles everything. So my job is very limited. Once I surpass the 10 model mark, I'm going to start hiring one person for every 10 models to keep up with the client communication and all the duties that they need to take on. Maybe even one every 20, and that should be sufficient enough. So this is OFM for Dummies. This is like a very, very basic understanding of vertical scale, horizontal scale, which one should you do, and what I would do if I started OFM again. And yes, I would take the agency model just because my income is a lot more guaranteed. Alongside that, getting an outreach team is going to be, generally speaking, pretty simple. Getting my first model is going to be, generally speaking, pretty simple. My LTV is very high. My churn rate is very low with an excellent service. And if one of the models leaves, my income doesn't take a hit. I would then take the income that I'm making from that operation and then start injecting it into vertical scale models on a vertical scale page and have the best of both worlds. Have a massive high earning page that I keep 90% of the profit on, and then have this entire thing outsourced to or delegated to my team.